Good afternoon, America. My name is David Newmark, and you are watching Summit Live. This is episode 31. It's March 16th, 2021. I welcome you. We have a special guest today, but before I introduce our special guest, I'd like to reintroduce you, as always, to my co-host, Mark Becker, our National Sales Director.
Hello. I thought I was going to be the dog today.
No, the dog is sitting next to us. I think Alan Smith is going to give it a little. Oh, there he is, as usual, sleeping. That's Rocco. He's our other co-host. I'm sure by now most of you who follow us on a regular basis look forward to seeing Rocco. Today we have with us Jack Aspenson, who's the CEO of S3 Solutions in Georgia. S3 Solutions provides peace of mind to the designers and architects and facility managers when it comes to moisture mitigation, floor preparation systems, and the like. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Jack. Jack, are you there?
I'm here.
Welcome, Jack. I've got to tell you, I'm so glad you were able to use your son's laptop, because 5 minutes ago, Mark and I were about to figure out what are we going to talk about. We did not have a backup plan. I'm glad it may be time to update your laptop.
I'm thinking that's possible. There.
Well, listen, thank you for joining us. You're, I would say, not in the sexy side of our business. The sexy side is the design side, the interiors, the colors, the finishes. But what's so incredibly important is you're not going to get a beautiful finished floor if the subfloor is not prepared properly. And the same could be said about any sort of wall surface. If you are not preparing the walls properly, then your wallpaper is going to look lousy. So I want to ask you a couple questions before we even begin. Tell us just a little bit about your personal background and what got you into S3 and how you started the company.
Well, I'm about 35 years now in sales and development on the scientific side, from everything from trucking companies to robotic software. And I've had 4 businesses. So I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur. Through the child years, when my children were all at home, I decided to work for corporate America. And once they were leaving the house, I decided to start my own company again with my partners. And that's how S3 came about. Was actually founded on epoxy solutions and grouts and sealants. So we've expanded it significantly. There we go, engineered solutions for the architectural surfaces. When we started working in the flooring industry, we found out real quick that everybody had a consistent problem, whether it was any of the mills or even some of the designers and architects that were causing them problems. And that was the actual precipice for S3 Surface Solutions.
Well, people call us late in the game after they have a problem when it's time to install. So I know you've got product that can help in that regard, but I also know that you're very proud of the fact that your products are green. So isn't that one of the things that separates you from some of your competitors?
Absolutely. When we started the business, our mission statement was to not create any more CO2 or any more hazards for humans within the buildings. And on top of that, the products had to actually remove a problem. So they weren't just a Band-Aid, they were a fix for a problem. And that's where we're very excited about our systems that we've created, because there's no direct competitor to our system approach. Individual products can have a competitor, but we've been able to make sure that we're not introducing anything into our residential or commercial environment as far as VOCs, and we actually contribute to lead points.
Well, when you say system, I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
When you talk about a system, we have different products like rubber. This is a 4 mil product.
Mm-hmm.
Like cork, which is a 4 mil product.
Mm-hmm.
Like woven carpet, which is of a very thin profile.
Wow.
And even woven vinyl, also of a 3.2 thin profile. So talk to us about your system and how when we're working with products of such very thin profile that floors will show every imperfection, if there are imperfections, how you resolve that with green products, and just tell us a little of that system you mentioned.
So for the first thing that between the 4 products you have there, a couple of them are permeable. One of them is impermeable or is permeable. The rest are impermeable. So when you put that on a surface, you've in essence sealed off that surface from moisture. And the challenge with a lot of these installations is moisture can be a contributing factor to them not looking pristine and meeting their life expectancy and meeting actually the client's need. So we wanted to be able to immediately take the moisture system issue off your plate. And then a lot of designers and architects today are specifying multiple products. All 4 could be that you showed could be in one office space. It could be in one multifamily space. And what we wanted to do was create one adhesive that could do all those backings. So everything you just demonstrated, our universal adhesive 4151, which by the way is one of the only ones that I know of today that is UL Green Guard Gold, which means it meets the highest green level that UL will put out from the construction industry. And that all 4 products that you just showed on their demonstration there can all be put down with that adhesive.
Carpet.
Yeah, let me make sure that everyone understands this and that I understand this. Your 4151, you can use it on rubber, you can use it on vinyl. These will not have any mitigation issues. You've heard about the plasticizer migration before. I have to make sure that what you're saying is accurate. So you can put it down under rubber. You could put vinyl on top of that rubber, or rubber on top of the vinyl, whatever, and there will not be any penetration coming from below?
The penetration of the moisture is going to happen. The glues are not a moisture vapor barrier. But to your point about plasticizer migration, anything that has a PVC-based material in it, there is a chance for that plasticizer to leach out into the concrete. That is, and I don't want to get too technical here, but that's because there is a pH balance with some moisture that actually causes that plasticizer to break down and move out of the product. So our adhesive is not affected by plasticizers. It's also high moisture, so 99 RH, up to 11 pounds of MBER and 11 pounds of 11 pH. So it's fantastic to go from cork floors, the EPDM rubber, to carpet tile, the VCT, to LVP, to sheet vinyl, all with one product. Different spread rates.
Well, let me ask you one more question. If you wanted to use rubber as a base and then adhere vinyl to that, can we use the 4151?
You can use it to hold the rubber to the concrete and the vinyl to the rubber.
That's what I wanted to know. That's very unique because there have been some problems. And in the past, we used to have to deal with that with something known as butter coating the rubber, which is for everyone watching and listening, that's putting a thin layer of adhesive on the rubber first and letting it dry before going through a real application with a trowel and re-gluing. So that's very interesting. Now, I want to tell you something.
Also interesting, if you don't mind, I get phone calls sometimes from designers who ask me, or project managers who ask me about what adhesive they can use because of a moisture issue. And a lot of product out there in the market goes up to 85 or 90%.
Right.
Very difficult to find a product that can handle 99% moisture. Product.
If you allow ours to flash or clear out, which you can still install rubber into it, as some of the pictures I sent you guys the other day, those were flashed on a warehouse floor that all I did was sweep the floor. That product will not re-emulsify if it's allowed to flash off. If it's not, you have like a semi-wet or wet set, you leave it exposed to moisture. Something that I wanted to bring up as part of the system too, we have surface prep and moisture shield that actually prepare the concrete, reduce the pH, and then moisture shield goes on and permanently, forever, manages that pH between 8 and 9, which is perfect for all flooring products.
And then you have green-based leveling compound if that's required.
We have two of them. Actually, one we're about to come out with in 4 months. It's going to probably break the industry when we drop that one on the market.
People need to realize that, and this is one of the first things that I learned when I came to work at Summit, is that a lot of floors, especially in cities where buildings have been up for a while, they're not going to be level. You need to have a smooth floor. Very difficult to find a level floor in an old building.
My background, Jack, for the last 25 years before or so before starting Summit was being a floor covering dealer in Manhattan. And you're laughing, but for those who are wondering why, Manhattan's an old city.
Yes.
Infrastructure is very old. You could imagine the buildings are very old, and there is no such thing as a level floor, putting it mildly. And when you're installing a thin product, or
like a woven carpet,
or a woven vinyl, something that's very thin, doesn't have much. Floor preparation is critically important. And as I was saying when I opened the show, you can have the best looking carpets, the best looking wallpaper, but if you don't prepare the floor or the wall properly, you're going to have a disaster on your hands.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny because I actually did we did the Mandarin Oriental kitchens with my previous company, and we also did quite a few of the big hotels in Manhattan. And I remember from one side of the kitchen to the other side, this is just tile. It was a 4-inch variance. That's a significant rise in the floor to go up 4 inches. Yeah, Manhattan has those challenges.
And that's not 4 inches over 60 feet.
No, 35 feet.
Now listen, when you were in the Mandarin Oriental kitchen, did you at least get to raid the refrigerator?
No. I asked for a free night and they said no.
Yeah, well, yeah. Welcome to New York.
Yeah.
Well, I think the important thing here is that there are products for leveling, for moisture mitigation, and adhesives that are green and will resolve issues that we face in the marketplace every day. As I said before, I get calls at the last minute when the product is supposed to go on the floor, and now it's sometimes too late. Somebody might have to start over on the moisture mitigation issue per se, and that can become expensive and it can become difficult. So better to get on top of these kind of issues in the beginning when you're project managing, and S3 would be a good company for project managers to know about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and before we, I want to ask Jack a quick question about a product that you have which actually reduces pollution. Can you explain that to us?
I think we're talking about the Peretti product.
Yeah, well, the entire system, by reducing the amount of moisture that's coming up, the purity. That's actually, I will love to talk about this. My friend, he lives in Manhattan, who created that product because his daughters had asthma. It's actually used as a coating or a cleaning agent for windows, and it will, through the effects of sunlight, take VOCs out of the air and turn it into oxygen. And I mean, that's a very simple description. But Purity is an amazing product for like a 2,500 square foot house. If they actually applied it to the roof of the house, would offset 2 full automobiles in their emissions a year.
So it's not just for windows, it goes on the inside and the outside of buildings, walls, floors, rooftops, windows, everywhere. And
sidewalks. It is a perfect product for reducing pollution, whether in the city or in the country. It doesn't matter. It eats VOCs through the power of the sun, creating hydroxide. I'm going to go too deep into technology, but it will actually also, I use it in my house, and we have 4 pets. You can't tell we have pets, and it actually makes my windows almost HD.
So is it sprayed? Is it a spray application?
It can be a spray application, and it can be a permanent, not a permanent, but a semi-permanent coating as well onto concretes. Like in Manhattan, if you sprayed it on some of the concrete facades, it would not allow organic matter to build up on the facade, keeping them cleaner longer.
And how often does it need to be reapplied?
Depends on the building and the environment, but generally 5 to 10 years. So it's a very long-term application. On the windows, We just try to fit it into the cleaning process.
When was this product developed?
17 years ago, by a gentleman named Glenn Finkel, who lives in Manhattan.
Oh,
Never heard of it.
I haven't either, and I'm surprised the whole world isn't on top of that.
Oh, the nice thing that I did when I created S3 is S3 is a very powerful developer, because we have 5 different formulators that we have agreements with, their partnerships. So everybody in the company makes a value off of all the products. It's not like we're just taking people's ideas. And then through collaboration and quite honestly, trust, these formulators, who are chemists and mechanical engineers, materials scientists, material PhDs, chemists, all work together to create these products. And literally, we go to concept with a product, and within 6 months, we're at a product that we can sell.
That's fantastic. By the way, you may see that you have a fan in Steve. I can't see his last name, but he says you're a fountain of information and knowledge.
He's a very good friend of mine. Yes, he is. He is actually he's one of the best salesmen I've ever met in my life.
Well, if let him know we're always looking as well. Steve, give us a call one day.
You know,
Hey, listen, I want to ask you a question too, without getting too specific. You have a product, I'm not sure I know the name of it, but it's some type of flexible sealer. I'd like to just hear a little bit about that from your perspective. What makes that product different than other floor sealers?
Okay, so the foundation of that was actually my partner's father, 27 years ago, started creating epoxies and urethanes that had beyond 2 to 3 times the elasticity of existing epoxies at that time. Now, obviously, add-ons and ingredients have changed, raw materials have changed over the years, but we've been able to keep that elasticity, or what some people call plasticity, where you compress and elongate at the same time. That's right there. S3's 125. That was the foundation of it all. That was actually created for the De Beers Diamond Company, so that they could put it on concrete, 2 miles underground, and get their diamonds out faster. But what we're talking about for the EPDM rubber industry, or even sports floor industry, is we needed to create something that would flex and move. Thin material, can't be thick, and it's also the foundation of our antimicrobial coating that we're working on right now, that is being tested by the EPA. So a little shocker to you guys, I didn't talk about that yet. But we don't want it to do anything but enhance the color and make it easy to clean, and make it durable to drops, heavy point loads, and heavy rolling loads.
And like you said, it would not splinter. I don't mean splinter, spider web. We're familiar with some of these.
we've seen coatings where when the product flexes down or out, that the sealant cracks and it looks like if you broke glass.
Yeah, I mean, many of the other sealers look beautiful until you walk on it.
Right.
When you walk on it, you see footprints everywhere because it's cracking under the weight of their feet. So it leaves footprints, or scuff marks. So we know how difficult that is, and we're excited as we get to know you more to learn about that product for our own use.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I actually hope that the designers watching our show today see something different than what they typically see. We're not here only showing Summit product, although we have great products and a great company. We want you to know that we're here to serve you. So we're bringing on guests like Jack who can impart knowledge and teach us all things that will help us for better and more successful
That's
projects.
true. That's true, Mark. And like I said, although Jack is sexy, maybe what he does is not. But somebody has to do it, right, Jack?
That's right.
Well, listen, we'd like to thank you for your time. This show is very different than what we've done before. We'll look forward to speaking with you again in the future. Thank you very much for spending your time with us. Everybody, S3 Solutions in Georgia, in Dalton, Georgia, home of the floor covering industry, coincidentally. Jack, we thank you once again, and we'll
My
talk to you.
pleasure.
Great. So that pretty much does it for our show today. I'd like to remind everybody that you can reach us by emailing us at info@summit-flooring.com or calling us on our toll-free number, 877-496-3566. We look forward to seeing you
in person soon. Shots are going in arms. Get
Oh,
ready.
that's true.
We'll
That's
soon
true.
be on the road again.
Yeah, we look forward to see.
Fauci. Fauci, ouchie. I'm sorry.
The Fauci ouchie.
Yeah, Fauci, ouchie. Well,
Anyway, we do look forward to
everyone
being on the
stay
road.
healthy. We'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.